First of all, let me confess, I have never moderated a panel discussion in my life. So if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. Now, I would like to introduce Thanisara Rungje, Chief Executive Officer, weaponized, Thailand. You're most welcome, man. Sorry if I pronounce it incorrectly, but Mayor Petra Kumpula Natri, Member of Parliament, Social Democratic Party of Finland. Matthew William Faulding, Political Secretary, Labour Party, United Kingdom. Ram Kripal Singh, former Deputy Minister, Law and Institutional Reform, Deputy Secretary General, Democratic Action Party. Here. Louis Blandon, President, UNAMOS, Nicaragua. Then we have Honorable Minister, Telangana Government, P. Srinivas Reddy. Then we have Member Parliament, Mallu Ravi. We were members of Parliament together at one time. Now he's in the House of the People and I'm in the House of the States. So therefore I think Jamalar Kiran Kumar Reddy, another Member of Parliament from Telangana. Sorry for the delay, but I think let's start. As it stands today, the subject, you know, is fact versus fiction, countering disinformation. Now, this Bharat Summit has taken up this challenge, and this Bharat Summit, we are grateful to Progressive Alliance, Alliance Progressista, Allianza Progressista, for our partners. And of course, the message and the very essence of democracy, liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. This is the essence of progressive policies, the left of center policies, which we have a bigger challenge today as the whole world is now being led by 10 top tech companies in the world. And therefore, I think this summit has come at the right time. And I think we have a major challenge globally. I would like to thank all the participants who have come and participated in the Bharat Summit. So therefore now, the whole, I would say, panel discussion will be scheduled, and panel discussion was about 60 minutes. After introduction of the speakers, I've given you the broad framework of panel discussions. I will invite each speaker to make a brief opening remarks. Speaker 1, that is Thanisara Rungje, will speak for 5 minutes and what they think of key problems are and can delve into their experience and subject matter. And this applies to all these speakers. Number 2 speaker is going to be Mayor Petra Kumpula Natri, Member of Parliament. Again, 5 minutes. Speaker 3 is Matthew William Faulding, Political Secretary, Labour Party, UK. 5 minutes is an opening remark. Number 4 will be Ram Kripal Singh. Opening remarks, 5 minutes. And number 5, Louis Blandon, Nicaragua. Now, after this, we will have a question-answer series. I will be asking questions, and you can respond to them for 3 minutes. At the same time, after that, we will have a 15-minute session of 3 questions from audience. So those who want to ask questions may send a slip. The organizers here may kindly organize that. So as an opening remark, on behalf as a moderator, I would like to sort of welcome all our foreign dignitaries who have come all the way to participate in Bharat Summit. And of course, the challenge before us in the present day globally is that because of the advanced technology, disinformation has become a legal, rather illegal weapon politically used to spread disinformation. Now, when the whole, I will say globally, we have moved to right of center. As I mentioned earlier, the global economy is now being controlled by tech companies, and the rights of the labor, the rights of the people are being encroached upon. And you have other stories to tell from your own countries. But the challenge before us globally is that the rights of the labor, the common man, are being encroached upon, and how to sort of face this challenge to check disinformation being spread through technology, and now with the new artificial intelligence and deepfake throwing up many challenges after that, is something which we'll have to counter. Now, what can be the strategy to counter this disinformation campaign run globally by some people is a major challenge today, and this is the major issue of discussion as it stands today. So to open up, I would like to invite our first speaker, Honorable Thanisara Rongej, Chief Executive Officer, Thailand. Please.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here, and I think here is okay. Yeah. My name is Thanisara, or you can call me Gigi. I think it's easier in English. I actually not a part of political parties, but actually I'm running the CSO. We call it a civic technology in Thailand. And what we try to do is try to empower people with technology and open data. That's why I'm here, because I used to run some research about the social information in my country to identify what kind of disinformation happens and what trends and how they get a negative impacts in our politics and society. So because of the brief of time, I will try to invite you to kind of think about 4 main observations that I got from my research during the past 3 elections in my country. The first thing is, my observation is about we are in the era of information overload, because I try to kind of scrape all information from all social media in my country, just only Thai language. And there is a kind of over 10 million posts in one day. So that means you have a chance to expose, if you stick with your mobile phone all the time, you have a chance to expose with a lot of information. And when it comes to the attention economy that the platform try to kind of push the algorithm to prioritize the emotional and sensational content to your screen, that makes the lies faster than truth. And we also heard about the words alternative facts, right? Because we think what we kind of get perceived is another facts that are posted on the website or on the social media. And when it combines with the media literacy, it gets worse in our country, and I believe in other countries as well. This is the first point that it's unavoidable situation that we are in the era of the information overload plus attention economy. So I would like to address this first. And when it topped up with the kind of willing to, the intention to try to weaponize this situation as a political and geopolitical tools. In our country, we saw it a lot. It's increasing during the election time. We see intentional and unintentional disinformation happens even with the supporter of the political parties. Even for the progressive parties, maybe sometimes it's unintentional, but they try to promote the agenda of the party and sometimes protect their members. And sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's caused by the government itself. So in our country, actually we have anti-fake news centers, but so many times the fake news happen from the center itself. And the party, yeah, I know it's a little bit fun, but if you live in a country, in that situation, sometimes it's just like what really happened there. So I want to point out by intention or not intention, this information happens because everyone has a kind of media or social media in their hands. And without the literacy, sometimes the lies spread. And the third thing is because I think we have a kind of outdated regulation on the tech platform. I don't know if kind of improved in other country, but in Thailand, we cannot caught up with a platform like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, or sometimes they're kind of influencer on that. And when things happen, we cannot, we don't have the regulation that give the punishment to the one who create the problem. So what we try to do the best is just the media or the CSO try to debunk it, or sometimes political party itself need to debunk those information. And the last thing I think when all situation combines together, they cause the kind of systemic issues. Like right now, people in Thailand rarely believe in the institution like the government, the anti-fake news center, the political parties, even the science or the academic institutions that makes things get worse. I would like to disclaim that from my part of work, we run the data analysis, we run the observation analysis, but right now I'm here. I'm happy to be here to kind of discuss and find maybe some solutions, some strategy, and some interference to stop something like this in my country. Because right now, I think it's try to manipulate a lot of public discourse in our country, and even kind of interfere the election, which is going to happen in the coming 2 years. So I think this is my opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you made a very pertinent points, particularly about how to check fake news and how to sort of control and manage the disinformation campaign being run by certain interested parties. So I think what we need is a more effective law and the more effective law enforcing agencies to control that. Thank you. Now I'll request Petra Kumpulo Natri, Member of Parliament, Social Democratic Party of Finland. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation. First of all, I have been 10 years regulator, member of European Parliament, and Europe did a lot for regulation. The newest one on AI, but also platform regulation. And we have one principle that you can copy. What is illegal offline should be illegal online. With that principle, we can solve a lot. What is free speech? It's not to destroy another person on the street, yelling and touching the human rights. So with that principle, you can legislate and regulate. Then also, I have been active in the international internet governance forums that are global gatherings around the internet and development. And UN also in the last summit Future Summit accepted a global digital compact that includes very many good principles, if you are not yet aware, on ethics, on human rights, on common possibilities for the world to be a better place also online. So it even touches the neurotechnology, if you want to see a horrible future, how minds can be manipulated. So we have institutions to work, but do the institutions help us if the grassroots is not educated, if we do not have resilient people who can work for the democratic actors in the society? So now I go back to the roots. I'm newly elected city councillor in Helsinki. I'm a member of National Parliament PAC after 10 years in the European level. So I was asked that how the Finnish education system is educating resiliency for the society. But our goal is written in our educational law that we educate active citizens. Because active citizens are basics for the democracy. And then literacy and media literacy, and we call it multi-literacy, is basics for the democracy to function. So the very principles that how to make informed decisions, you need to be something solid under your food, where to get the trusted information, what you can trust into. So Finnish education system has had this multi-literacy for over 20 years. And I'm like a digi-politician. I've been regulating, I've been doing that. So it is only the add-on for the very principles that you have. In the Finnish constituency, you mentioned the free education for everyone, regardless of their background or location. Our progressive government, now we are in the opposition, but our previous progressive government made a new law that free education for everyone is continued until 18 years of age. And it is also that free includes travel when you are far enough, books and computers, and school meals. So that is active participatory citizenship for everyone. And then still our society, media freedom, media literacy, and educations are highly valued by almost everyone. We, of course, from the opposition criticize government, which is now right-wing and extreme right-wing, cuttings on the education and the NGOs, helping to build this resilient society for everyone so that we are active citizens. But we are fighting. So what the pupils are educated from the very early age, like pre-education, you are not banning using of internet, or you are not banning using mobile phones, but you take the age appropriate measures. So that very small children can take pictures and can send them to each other and limited time of the day. But then later on the teenagers, I actually talked to some, and I have 2 teenagers at home, for history teachers. I found it very interesting that they put students to make a social media account for historical persons. So to understand that behind every social media account, there is also the way how you want to profile yourself. So what would a social media account for Julius Caesar look like? What his image would like to be, what he would like to inform. So make it understand that every social media account is kind of one-way communication also. And then it has a targets and means. And then also historical content. So this way you make students think, and it's not one curriculum that now we teach about media literacy. It's embedded in whole curriculum in every sector. So the questions, where does information come from? Every time you open, as an adult, an educated person, ask every time, where does it come from? When you Google something, when you look ChatGPT, do you know what data it is using for educate AI answers? Who created it? Why? Is it based on evidence or emotion? And does it try to manipulate, persuade, or sell something? So when you are an educated user of the digital tools, if you every time you open internet, you ask these questions, what is it actually trying? Is it trying to sell me something? Is it trying to manipulate me? And then I want to underline in this first time of my speech that it's not only about the facts. Our title is Fact versus Fiction. Every time we are human beings, we have emotions. And we are politicians, we know that, but also marketing people do. Also authoritarian state dictators do know that. So always use also that how would it emotionally influence you. So when you will have many examples around the world, how it has been used, when the AI has shown you fake pictures, even knowing it's a fake, but when you see it all the time, your emotions get not comfortable. And that is also something that influences you. So all in all, I think that for the well-structured democratic society, very principles of free and good education for everyone must include the multiliteracy so we can live with the world. I can't tell you, even after EU has been legislating, the terrorist content must be taken down in few hours. Illegal hate speech is something that you can punish the platforms if they bear not responsibilities. Disinformation will be there, is among us. Maybe at the paper time it was called propaganda or something. So also build resilience in your society, and we can go to many other topics later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I think here we have an educator, a regulator, and a politician. A very interesting combination. And of course, we would be very happy to know from her and learn from it. Also, how in this country where we are facing huge amount of hate speeches, postings encouraging hatred and violence, how we can control that legally, and how you have done that in Finland, and also at the same time, how the progressive policies of your party are being undone by the right wing, which has come to power, is something which is happening almost all over the world, because we see a certain shift in the policies from progressive policies to the right wing, while market economy is overruling the rights of the labor. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I'll request Matthew William Paulding, Political Secretary, Labour Party, to sort of give his comments on this subject of fact versus fiction, countering disinformation, how they are doing it in UK. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having me here. I'm not going to claim to be an expert on digital policy, particularly in a city like Hyderabad, but I saw the impact of disinformation in the election last year that we had. And put simply, nowadays, a lie will travel much faster and have greater impact in political campaigns than we've ever seen before. Disinformation isn't new. It's something that we've always had part of British politics anyway. The first Labour government was taken down by disinformation, or in part taken down by disinformation in 1924 with a fake letter that was published by the Daily Mail. But what we see now is, in the digital world, these attacks are far more sophisticated and can gather momentum very quickly. 45% of British adults now claim they see fake news every day, while in comparison, trust in the mainstream media has dropped rapidly from 51 to 34% in just 8 years. An additional challenge we have in Britain is now a lot of this disinformation spreads via WhatsApp in private groups, so it's very hard to even know what the fake news is being spread, let alone counter it. Just a few examples of the problems we faced within the UK Labour Party. Starting in September 2023, there was a leaked recording of Keir Starmer that was shared very rapidly around social media, apparently of him being rude and abusive to staff. This was completely fake. It was AI-adapted audio, but had already been, by the time that was kind of put out on social media and started to taken down, it had already been listened to by several million people. And this was the first time we saw how quickly those stories could take hold. And this is happening on a fairly regular occurrence. Just within the last 48, 72 hours, we've had to deal with AI-adapted recordings and videos that have been put on social media. Lastly, I kind of also looked after candidates and politicians during the campaign, and we had several examples of proposed WhatsApp or Twitter conversations of candidates in their past that, again, have been abusive or offensive, that were being passed to national media outlets that were generally hostile to the UK Labour Party. Our digital and legal team were almost on every occasion able to show that these were fake, and we stopped them being published. But particularly when these fakes are incredibly sophisticated, this takes a lot of resource and is becoming a much more regular occurrence that we have to therefore tackle. So what do we, how do we challenge this during the election? Firstly, we try to train as many stakeholders as possible. Unlike in traditional comms, it's not enough for the party simply to have media professionals to debunk this. Everyone is a player in the game online. And as these lies travel fast so rapidly, we need to train as many people as possible. We trained politicians at every level, staff, and our most loyal activists and members to have a cohort of 2,000 digital members who could help us in various ways. Firstly, they helped escalate issues helped us escalate issues to social media providers. We can't see everything, so these digital activists were our eyes and ears who could pick up on stuff that was unusual on their feeds that we could then escalate to the social media providers. And they could also help us counter disinformation. We used a technique called the truth sandwich and trained our activists to do the same. This means that whenever we saw disinformation, we would get them to state the truth, implicate the lie and the liar, but without sharing the lie, and then state the truth again and again. The purpose of this is to avoid repeating the lie, so you're simply boosting or amplifying whatever fake news has been put out there. An example of where we used the truth sandwich effectively was in one of our closest election results in Birmingham last year. A deepfake video of a Ring doorbell conversation spread across social media. We managed to counter this by pinning the story on the opposition candidate for spreading the fake news, rather than the fake news story itself being particularly used in the media. We also had to consider the most effective response to fake news when we saw it during the election. We considered two things: reach, how many people have been exposed to the story, and impact, how will that change the political perception or our narrative during the campaign. What we found out in reality is that 95% of all disinformation or fake news was a very low impact and reach, and it was therefore better to ignore than counteract. And then lastly, I just want to touch on our social listening infrastructure. We invested a lot of money into our social listening, and it was a large investment principally through AI to be able to look at the sheer volume of posts and track how our campaign and our messaging was going on social media. This included closely following around 35,000 users who were best matched to our target voters. This helped us stick to our narrative, but also when politicians or senior people in the party thought that we needed to change our narrative or adapt it because of a particular story, we were able to say confidently what our target voters were actually responding to this. In our daily morning meetings, this social listening infrastructure was as important as response from the doorsteps or from our media monitoring, if not more so. And lastly, overall, it's important in a world where politics is treated with increased skepticism, as all the panelists have said, that our responses sound authentic and relies on as many real people as possible supporting our message in the online spaces that voters put them in. As I said, we had 2,000 digital volunteers. During the campaign, we managed to reach 13 million people through Facebook and Nextdoor with our authentic message rather than through advertising. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very pleasantly surprised that in UK also there are fake news and fake propaganda being used so blatantly, so that I'm pleasantly surprised also, because I have been one of the worst victims of these fake news and morphed and I would say putting something which I've never said in my life, creating these fake videos. So therefore, as one of the major victims in Indian politics, because I have always stood up for social harmony, fighting against communalism, because all these fascist dictatorship mindset, they always sort of target one section of the people as the anti-national. Now for them, of course, ideologically, the Muslims and the Christians, these two religions are from outside. So for them, they have been targeting since last 100 years now, the ruling party at the present. So therefore, I think the kind of hatred they have sort of spread all over. Earlier, this used to be, any disinformation used to be localized. Now with this new technology which has come in, one fake news can reach millions of people just by clicking and having an organized WhatsApp groups to the WhatsApp University. We call it WhatsApp University here. So therefore, I think now the biggest challenge has come is the artificial intelligence and the deepfake. So that today, as we are sitting here, someone, any part of the world, can put a video and words in my mouth which I've never said. So this is the major challenge that we have. So therefore, I think we also have the number of commercial companies now who get funds from some political parties to create fake news, fake videos, and they are paid handsomely. So this is, I think, one of the major challenges that is happening today. So thank you very much. So now the next, I would request Mr. Ram Kripal Singh, former Deputy Minister, Law and International Institutional Reform, Deputy Secretary General, Democratic Action Party.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here this afternoon. I'm from Malaysia, Member of Parliament under the current unity government, a former Deputy Minister of Law, and I'm privileged to be here as part of this very important discussion that is to do with fact and fiction. We have, as we speak right now, a by-election that is ongoing in Malaysia, which is due to conclude on Saturday. And the opposition in that by-election just announced this morning that my party, which is part of the unity government, ought not to be part of politics in Malaysia because we are peddlers of discrimination, we spread hate and racial disharmony and so on. Obviously fake, but what do you do about it? Maybe some might argue it's not fake, maybe some might argue there is some justification in it, but the point is politicians also take advantage of the media, of online facilities for their own agendas and to further their own purposes. Under our federal constitution in Malaysia, there is guaranteed freedom of expression and freedom of speech. But none of these freedoms, as recognized in India as well, have been said to be absolute. And that is why governments throughout the world today are beginning to be more aware of how online abuse can occur. We've heard about deepfake, we've heard about news being spinned and so on. We had the Anti-Fake News Act in 2018, which was introduced by the previous government under our former Prime Minister, Najib Tun Razak, which was found or drew considerable criticism in the handling of the I don't know if you might be familiar with the 1MDB scandal, which still plagues my country to this very day. And it was found that that Anti-Fake News Act itself might have been a bit a tool to assist in covering up the scandal that is 1MDB, and it has been repealed, or it was repealed in 2020. Following from that, the unity government today has taken many steps and measures to overcome, or at least address, the menace of fake news and the consequences of fake news. We are awaiting our Media Council. We have just passed amendments in Parliament recently in February, and we hope to see a Media Council being established in Malaysia towards the end of the year, once it passes the approval in the Senate and also receives royal assent. Now, this Media Council is very much welcome in the sense that it consists of various media representatives as well, who have know-how and expertise in this area of the law, in this very important area of media generally in Malaysia. And so, with the Media Council in place towards the end of this year, we hope to see more changes in the way media platforms are handled, so that we can address the problem of online abuse. We have also introduced other measures, such as licensing requirements under various legislation in Malaysia, where now there have been tightening of requirements when it comes to licensing of service providers, in which where the government has been given some leeway in tightening or in regulating the issuance of licenses to service providers. So, and in the hope of curbing misinformation or disinformation from those providers who ought to, of course, be responsible for the spread of fake news, which can be devastating throughout, not only in Malaysia, not only in my country, but as we have seen throughout the entire world. And so I have a lot more to say. I think I'll leave that to the floor and to questions that will be shared. But I think before I finish, I would like to just state that we have seen a drastic shift in legislation that has been passed in Malaysia. In the 90s and early 2000s, before the advent of the internet, mainstream media was very influential in Malaysia. No longer the case today, as we all know. And that is why I think when it comes to politicians who spin news in their favor, it is very important for laws to be introduced. We have had many cases. One such case in Malaysia concerns the opposition in Malaysia, known for spreading fake news, where they have on numerous occasions abused online platforms for their own purposes. And of course, there is legal recourse. It is important to note that, of course, we have to balance freedom of information, freedom of speech, when it comes to regulation for service providers. And that is why Malaysia has never excluded the avenue of judicial review when it comes to challenging perhaps arguably arbitrary decisions in the implementation or enforcement of various measures under our new amendments that have been passed under various legislation so far. So I think in conclusion, I would like to say that we welcome these measures that have been introduced in Malaysia, and we have many more coming up, but we also must be careful to ensure that we balance it with the necessary safeguards so as to ensure freedom of speech and expression. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramkipalji. I think we appreciate the government of Malaysia, which has created the Media Council to control fake news and also set up, make amendments in the Act also. I think this is something you have to learn, because we can't sort of compromise on the freedom of speech and freedom of, I would say, freedom of speech. And therefore, I think there has to be some kind of control. The freedom of speech and freedom of expression is something as an inherent right in any democratic country. So therefore, but at the same time, we can't allow that to go beyond the essence of secular, socialist, democratic ethos of any progressive party-led government. So I think we would like to learn from you what has been your, what do you advise the amendments in the present law as such, so that we can penalize those intentional, I would expressions which are sort of putting the fake news for their own interest, political interest, which lead people to believe such that it leads them to hatred and violence. Thank you very much, Ramji. Now I would like to invite Louis Blendon, President UNAMOS from Nicaragua. Please.
Hola. Thank you very much for this opportunity, but now I speak in Spanish because this is my language. Y como todo latinoamericano, pues para expresar mejor mis ideas, lo haré en español. Muchísimas gracias. Yo quiero iniciar comentando un poco sobre la experiencia que pasa en mi país. Yo soy de Nicaragua, Centroamérica, y hemos visto cómo las redes sociales actualmente han venido a jugar un rol, pero de manera un poco también negativa. ¿En qué sentido? Bueno, hemos identificado cómo desde los gobiernos, desde el gobierno, promueven y desarticulan cualquier expresión de movimiento social, de movimiento estudiantil, y esto con el único fin de ejercer algún control en sus narrativas, de ejercer un control de la retórica que ellos quieren implementar, y esto es sumamente peligroso. Principalmente porque han creado una ley especial aprobada por los diputados, que es la Ley Especial de Ciberdelitos. ¿En qué consiste esta ley? Consiste en que toda aquella propuesta que para ellos signifique ir en contra de lo que ellos están implementando como país sea penado, y eso pasa por la justicia. Para nadie es un secreto que las redes sociales han venido a jugar un rol bastante protagónico y de muchísima influencia en la sociedad. Y hemos visto también cómo estos grandes empresarios de las tecnologías como Meta, como X, también están jugando un rol con un fin a gobiernos que a ellos les interese promover. Y lo vemos en América Latina recientemente. No es casualidad que Trump en su toma de posesión apareciera con el dueño de Meta ni de X, pero asimismo vemos gobiernos populistas como en El Salvador, como Nayib Bukele, que utiliza las redes para propiciar de manera negativa, porque no es positiva, su discurso cargados de odio, de polarización y sobre todo para crear muchísimo miedo en la sociedad para poder seguir estando siempre al frente. Esto de regular las redes sociales es un desafío bastante grande en América Latina, principalmente porque más bien han venido avanzando los gobiernos populistas, como también en Argentina con Milei, que utilizan las plataformas y han ocupado este espacio cibernético para poder promover todos estos discursos cargados de odio y que de cierta manera también la sociedad lo está aceptando con total normalidad. Y es ahí donde debemos cuestionarnos qué realmente estamos haciendo mal desde la socialdemocracia, que no hemos sido capaces también de contrarrestar estos discursos y que más bien hemos visto, pues por lo menos en América Latina, gobiernos que están llegando al poder mediante mentiras, engaños, divisiones de la sociedad. Hace poco vimos ahorita en Ecuador que recién ganó Noboa a base de mentira, pero también años atrás vimos cómo Bolsonaro creando cadenas de WhatsApp en Brasil, un país muy grande, el más grande de América Latina, para crear muchísima desinformación y que él pudiera seguir creando su narrativa. Desgraciadamente, a diferencia de Europa, que ya hay discusiones sobre la ley con la regularización de las leyes, pues en América Latina es un poco bastante más complejo, principalmente por la clase de gobiernos que nos ha tocado en diferentes países. Pero yo creo de que esta es una oportunidad también de reinventarnos desde los que somos de izquierda, socialdemócratas, cómo somos capaces de llegar a estas plataformas con discursos que entusiasmen, con discursos que sean capaces de que la sociedad pueda distinguir entre lo que es correcto, lo que no es correcto, pero eso pasa también por crear alianzas con organizaciones de sociedad civil, eso pasa por crear alianzas con movimientos sociales, porque no es una tarea exclusivamente de los partidos políticos. Y quiero finalizar en esta primera ronda porque varios de mis compañeros y compañeras han dado varios elementos y para no repetirlos, yo soy fiel creyente de que nosotros tenemos la capacidad, tenemos la habilidad para poder desarrollar todos aquellos temas que la ultraderecha nos ha venido ganando terreno, pero para llegar a eso también tenemos que meternos un poco de lleno a la social media, que es algo que también hemos dejado un poco al lado, y estos gobiernos populistas pues seguirán llegando mediante estos métodos de mentiras, de engaños, y principalmente porque le llegan a la sociedad de manera directa por plataformas como TikTok, como Instagram, como X, y creando sus narrativas que ya vienen en una línea estructurada. Gracias.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think hearing most of the speakers here, I think the communal, I would say the view which is emerging now is that in all countries, the progressive ideas are being curbed, controlled, and the right-wing, I would say, ideology is using this platform of social media to sort of spread fake news, not only fake news, to also at the same time something which amounts to hatred towards your principal enemies. I think this is something which is emerging as a common thread among all the countries where we have political parties which have got very progressive ideas and pro-poor ideas. Now we have two honorable members of parliament from Telangana. One, Dr. Malu Ravi, he would like to sort of say something on this issue. Dr. Mallu Ravi.
Welcome and namaste to all the respected heads of the various countries, ministers, parliamentarians, national party leaders, corporate heads, think tankers, media personnel gathered here at this prestigious Bharat Summit 2025. It is truly an honor to speak on this platform of ideas and intellect, the Bharat Summit. And it is also timely because today we are not just facing an information explosion, but an explosion of disinformation. We once said information is power. Now misinformation and disinformation are destroying our society and trust process. Let us first understand the difference between misinformation and disinformation. Misinformation is like a mistake. Someone shares something false unknowingly. Disinformation is dangerous. It is deliberately false, designed to mislead, to divide, and to destroy trust. Disinformation is not just a lie, it is a strategy to confuse, manipulate, and control. We have seen how disinformation has affected elections in various nations. We have seen fake news during the pandemic that cost people their lives. We have seen communal tension inflamed by WhatsApp forwards. We have even seen children fearing vaccinations because of myths spread online. Let us be clear, this is no small threat. Disinformation is a digital weapon and it is being used every day. India, with its linguistic diversity, cultural richness, and democratic depth, is both powerful and vulnerable. We have 140 crores voices, but who controls the mic? A small rumor in a small village can go viral across the nation in seconds. A false video, a doctored image, a twisted quote, these are enough to disperse peace even in the most progressive societies. And when facts are attacked, democracy bleeds. We must fight this battle on three fronts. Digital literacy as a right. Just as we teach our children to read and write, we must teach them how to verify and think. We must introduce digital literacy in schools. We should make our youth face checkers instead of just followers. Let us create village-level trust committees where volunteers, teachers, and students verify viral content. Our media must rise about TRP wars. Truth is not always dramatic. It is always essential. We must support independent journalism and demand accountability from content platforms. Social media platforms cannot hide behind the label of neutral. If they have the power to shape public opinion, they also carry the duty to protect it. We need transparent content moderation, stronger cyber laws, and strict penalties for intentional disinformation. Freedom of speech is non-negotiable, but freedom to deceive should not be tolerated. Strengthen laws under the IT Act to hold repeat offenders accountable. Make social media platforms responsible for curbing deepfakes, bots, and anonymous hate accounts. Just like there is a warning on cigarette pack, there should be a fact-checked watermark on sensitive viral content. Launch a national movement like Sach Batao, Desh Bachao. Use celebrities, influencers, YouTubers, and Reels to promote fact-checking habits, encourage a trend, think before you share. Being a member of parliament, our role is not just to legislate, but to lead by example. Let us speak truthfully even when it is unpopular. Let us not spread what we can't verify. And let us remind people that truth is the first step towards unity. My dear friends, this is a new kind of freedom struggle. Today, we must fight disinformation for intellectual independence. Let us restore trust in what we read, what we share, and what we believe. I want to end with this thought. In a nation where freedom is our pride, truth must be our shield. Let us not allow fake narratives to divide our country. Let us unite not in noise but in knowledge. Let the Bharat Summit be remembered not just for what was discussed but for what was defended, the truth, the facts, and the future. At the end, Telangana is the best destination for investments both in IT and all other industries, and there is a investment-friendly government under the leadership of CM Revanth Reddy. I request all of you to come forward for investments in Telangana. Jai Telangana, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Dr. Balu Ravi. Now, as we are running short of time, we will take a few questions from the audience. We'll be very happy to respond to that. And do you have a cordless? Yeah. Please introduce yourself and put your question, and also put your question to the person whom you are addressing to. Okay? Thank you.
My name is Daryl Kailani. I'm from the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan. I have a question for Matthew. We notice the rise of the far right recently in Europe especially, and some other parts worldwide. Do you think this disinformation has any effects on that, or was it the cause of it, or was it the tool that was used for that purpose? My second question is for TR. It's on technical point of view, I mean, from a technical point of view. We know that there are interests of companies, individuals, politicians, to disinform people. However, technically, is it possible to monitor where the information is coming and what the intentions are from this information that is spread around by certain entities? And if that is the case, does it need any kind of sponsorship from, let's say, political parties, socialist democrats worldwide? Thank you.
Yeah, just on the far right point, I don't think I think the far right have certainly been effective in Britain at using misinformation and fake news, which has helped bolster their profile, and this has been seen over the last 5 years, and using the kind of key issues and pushing fake stories about Labour politicians, but not just Labour politicians, centre-right politicians as well. And we've seen a huge increase in that, and often the kind of misinformation stories are pushed from a far right angle. So yeah, I certainly think they have been effective in using those tools.
Okay. For the second question, in the technical point of view, yes, actually, because when you have only 10 or thousands data, you cannot tell that. But when you get millions of data, of course, you can track the path of the kind of correlation between the accounts. And that's why we see the information operation. And in Thailand, we also see how it generated or how it related with some big companies or also some big family members of the politicians as well. But right now, even we have an evidence like that, we still struggle with the kind of legal framework that kind of regulate or punish what happened in our society. And sometimes, just like the Malaysian colleague said, it's a cross-border issue, just like 1MDB. It's not only in our country. It linked to Malaysia, Myanmar, and also China as well. So technically, it's possible, but right now, I think we have a problem with the legally terms. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Although we are running short of time, but we have got a very seasoned, senior member of the civil society on my left here. Please give this to him.
Hello, I am Vijay Pratap from India. I have a question from the Finnish colleague. I have worked in the high-powered committee on globalization democracy, which Erkki Tuomioja was chairing. And my own experience about 2 decades with the civil society in Finland is almost genetically incapable of speaking untruth. So how does disinformation unfold in your society? You spoke about only multiliteracy, but disinformation, I fail to imagine how it unfolds.
Yes, first of all, I want to take it to the global scale. So literacy in general, it's in many societies 100%, and it's harder target for foreign interference. I was a little bit shocked that I found that the literacy in United States was under 80%. So something that might give you a warning. So proper literature. So take care of proper literature, so then you have less believers of fake news. So this kind of resilience needs to be built. But of course, also Finland is not a heaven; it's a country impacted with the all global phenomena. So yes, we also lost elections 2 years ago, and then the populist right-wing party forms a coalition with the traditional right-wing party as well. But since 2 weeks, we won the local election by increase of 5.5%. So this was also fighting back. And I think the most important was that we had the topic that related to the power of the municipals. Social services, health services, education, how to use the public expenditure also in the state level, even it's not decided on the municipal level. We didn't talk about migration or hate speech or something like polarizing, but really what the municipalities are for and what the classical right-left-wing politics was about. So that was also that we were quite firm to set the agenda. So that also helps the progressive when you talk about education and not talk about immigration, for example, which is a hard topic when people are leaving or people are coming in the big questions. So at the same time, we have to also set agendas. So yes, we were a blue-eyed society, but not anymore. Everything is there. And one strange to mention is that why this new media polarizes girls and boys. And that is something global that we have to find out. Why young boys are more eager to go more aggressive, and young women a little bit more aware of the climate change and human rights. So this is also polarization I don't want to see. I want all genders to fight for the same goals. Put the title, science-based is something that we should be trusting. And ethicality is something global on the human rights. So not forget what we have agreed on the United Nations on the principles of human rights, and then just transfer it to the digital world. Thank you so much for the panel.
Thank you. The last question, of course, is from, please introduce yourself. Thank you. And make it short, okay? Thank you.
Hello, Namaste Tashdele. I'm Sonam Singh from Tibet, representing Tibetan Youth Congress. We advocate for the rights of the Tibetans inside Tibet who are controlled under the curtains of the communist Chinese censorship. So our effort to counter China's disinformation involve a multifaceted approach, including international advocacy, diplomatic efforts, grassroots initiative, and advocacy work in the Indian Parliament. So we seek the support of our parliamentary members as well for the same. And my question is for our Indian dignitaries. What policies and initiatives has the Telangana government implemented to counter disinformation, and how effective they have been? Thank you so much.
Sir, could not catch the point.
We appreciate the concern of our delegate from Tibet. It's a very sensitive issue which we have been looking at internationally also. Now, the state government of Telangana would not be able to respond to the question that you have raised. It's an issue with the concern of the government of India. We have the greatest regard and respect to His Holiness Dalai Lama and the concerns of the people in Tibet. Yet at the same time, you very well know that it is India which has stood by the rights and the social, I would say, empowerment of the people living in Tibet. Yet at the same time, this Bharat Summit, it has its own limitations. So as far as we are concerned, we are supporting His Holiness Dalai Lama, shall continue to do so. And of course, this is something which the government of India should address this issue in the right perspective. Now, to conclude, I would say that by and large, all the panelists have pointed out the concerns how technology has brought in the hatred, the fake news, the fake videos, which is a matter of serious concern. Now, this is something which we have to see and ensure that without compromising on the right of the freedom of speech and freedom of expression, how can we control through legal, by framing the right kind of laws and implementing in the right earnest, so that the disinformation campaign, which is being used as a political weapon, is not only controlled, and at the same time, we have enough laws to punish all those who are the content writers of such kind of hatred, and which sort of leads people to believe something which is not correct. So therefore, I think this is the by and large which supports the issue that all the right-thinking, progressive people in the world globally, who believe in liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice, we have to come together to fight this malice of disinformation through the social media, through the use of technology, which has really sort of polarized, as some of the members have said, because the polarization leads to hatred, and hatred leads to violence. This is something which is not acceptable, and coming that from India, through the thousands of years we have always held, we have always believed in equal respect to all religions, and we strongly believe in global fraternity. And in India, thousands of years, we have never seen religious war as such. We had wars for power, but we have never had wars of religion as some of the European countries have seen. So therefore, with that, I would like to thank all the panelists for the very fine observations and their comments and their suggestions. And I think we must all put our heads together to fight the civil society, the members of civil society, members in the social groups, and the politicians. We have to put up all our minds together to not only educate the younger people, and at the same time also create some kind of consensus among all the people from the civil society and the right-thinking people who have progressive ideas, how do we fight this menace of technology in the present world. Thank you very much. And I have a message from the organizers that I would request all of the delegates to go to the multilateralism panel in Fraternity Hall after this session is over. With that, I would like to thank all of you and the honorable panelists coming from different countries. Thank you very much. We thank the government of Telangana for hosting this Bharat Summit, and excellent arrangements have been made, and we are grateful. Thank you.